Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Hey, happy Sunday everybody. It's not Sunday morning right now because it's late at night because I had an intense weekend. I'll talk about later, but let's talk about Neal Schon. Neal Schon, yes. Neal Schon's 70th birthday this week. I bet he celebrated pretty major. He's got lots of money. You ever see anyone out there follow Neal Schon on Instagram? Um, Amazing. Like it's just videos of him shredding guitars in the studio, playing to these multiple backing tracks that I don't know sure if he makes them himself or he pulls them offline or what he does. But man, is it ever a guitar player's feast for their ears when we hear Neil just shredding away on just a plethora of amazing guitars that he either buys or they send to him, and he plays pretty much everything. But one thing I love about Neal Schon, he loves the same guitars I do, which are he plays mostly. I know there's lots of Les Pauls. Hey, notice no Les Paul today, Andy. So Andy gave me. I said I didn't like Les Pauls last week. Then Andy pointed out that I had 3 Les Pauls in a row on my videos. So back to the Strats. Back to the classic Strat, SSS, here we go. But anyhow, yeah, Neil, lost my train of thought. No, sorry, the guitars that Neil shreds on, mostly Strat style, super Strats, 80s type thing, Floyd Rose with a humbucker here. Of course, this isn't one of those guitars, and I'm mostly playing other types of guitars. Here we go. Here. This type, oh man, this type of guitar. Good thing I noticed where the guitar straps are before I lift up guitars in my studio here. Strap was firmly around the tripod. Yes. Anyways, I'm not gonna edit this again. I'm not gonna. 99% of my shows are one take, and I'm not gonna redo it. Anyways. If you didn't see it already, these type of guitars, they have Floyd Roses and humbuckers and all that kind of neat stuff. That's my Jackson there, by the way. Anyhow, Neil had a Strat, a white Strat. I've been following Neal Schon for a while. He's one of my favorite players, and I'm sure if you're a guitar player out there, you have either a huge amount of respect for Neal Schon, or you just love him. I just love Neal Schon. I just love his whole persona. It's great that his wife we saw Journey last year, and his wife was just standing there at the side, just taking shots of his guitar solos. My wife does that too, so just in case you're wondering, you see those videos on Instagram or whatever, or on our Avalon page. But he's just an incredible player. Great history. He's 70 years old now, but what a life. He was in Santana as a teenager. Jammed with Eric Clapton apparently when he was a teenager. Eric Clapton wanted to take him on the road, but he said no, he's too young. Hooked up with Santana, played with them, then ended up in that whole San Francisco scene, and then started Journey. Journey actually had another guitar player who was actually, his name is George Tickner, who wrote a lot of the early stuff, and then this was before Steve Perry. And then when Steve Perry joined the band, I think they went the more progressive rock, and then eventually commercial rock, and there was a term in the '80s, corporate rock, and I find it funny reflecting on that now, to say that those bands were so corporate, and people we didn't like that, Journey and Styx and Foreigner, all those bands were just way too commercial, and now it's like they're like the classic rock staples and that kind of thing. And Journey's music is just incredible. I'm gonna go see Journey this summer again with Def Leppard, of course, and Heart. Heart's on that tour, and but Neal, just a total gearhead, and it's just really sad because bands feud, and Journey in the last few years has had some terrible feuds with original members. The first one being with Steve Smith and Ross Valerie, and there's some kind of mess to do with lawsuits. And then last year, Jonathan Cain and Neal were sparring, and seems to be cleared up now. But like Cyndi Lauper says, money changes everything. You're on a big tour, stadium tours, and that, and you got to be really thankful if you're one of these guys that's rock royalty, as we call them. Classic rock guys. If you're still playing a huge hockey rink, or in the case of Journey and Def Leppard, they're playing stadiums this summer. You got to be really thankful that you're 70 years old, still playing, still got a guitar in your hands, and you're still playing huge shows and making tons of money. Because you can't make any money on the recordings anymore, apparently. But that's why these guys tour. Journey's doing well. I think The Sopranos, last episode with Don't Stop Believin', probably just put them over the top. That's probably why he drives Lamborghinis and has 400 guitars. Anyways, he's still a brilliant player. Love the man to death. His solos are great. Great story if you read all the old Van Halen and Neal Schon guitar players. All I read was guitar players. If you watch this show, Guitar Player magazine when I was growing up, and the cover story for Neal Schon, Neal and Journey took Van Halen on tour with them, and like any other band that had to have Van Halen open for them, was pretty much blown off the stage by a very young band that just was going to take the world by storm. And guitar player we don't have to say much more about Eddie, but Neal would be shredding in the tuning room, just ripping stuff, and he can do that if you know his playing. And then Eddie would come into the tuning room and say, "Hey man, why don't you play all that shit on stage?" And he says, "Well, Eddie, you can do that. It's the band set up around your songs and sound. Journey, it's about the songs and a lot of orchestration with keyboards and all that kind of thing. So guess what? I have to play for the song." And he still gets his shred licks in there, though. Still gets them in any way you want. It's got some pretty shreddy stuff on it, even though stuff like Separate Ways is very cool and melodic, but there's some fast runs in that one too. I love it because he's got these huge melodic fill the stadium sound, and then he can still shred. Love Neal. I hate to say negative things. I should just shut up. But I saw Toto and Journey last year, and I may have mentioned this already. Sorry if I have and you remember it. But Steve Lukather's tone was beautiful. He was playing two Bogner heads and a pedal board, and it was just beautiful, beautiful warm sound. Neal comes out, and I think he was playing fractals or something. Big monitors, huge monitors, side, two in the front, couple 5150s there. Didn't look like they were doing much. They might have been just there for show, but tone wasn't there for me. I hate to say it. Tone wasn't there for me. I think he experiments with a lot of stuff, and it's just not there yet. But we'll see what it's like when we see him this summer. I'm a tube guy. I like the tubes. I don't know if I'll ever get into the modeling. I used to. You might see there's a pod up there. I had a lot of pods. Maybe that's a bad example and why it turned me off of modeling. But I don't think I can. I just feel strongly for your guitar players out there. You cannot compete with a loud drummer if you're not using some kind of tube to drive yourself. That's it. Anyways, cheers, Neal Schon. I don't have my coffee down here. Cheers to Neal. Continue, man. Journey is an interesting band with a mismatch of people right now, but it's still Journey music, and we love it. And that's about it. Changing gears, I had an incredibly tough weekend. That's why it's 9 o'clock at night right now when I'm doing my show. I will not tell a lie. Saw Air Supply. Angela loves Air Supply. Okay, she took me there last year to Air Supply, and I just was blown away at how heartfelt and incredible these guys were, and the band and Aaron McLean on guitar, amazing. She buys tickets, my wife, and we get there and front row seats to see Air Supply, and they were $70 tickets. They weren't even that expensive, you know. And somehow she had some pre-sale code and she got front row ticket. How do you? I don't know how she did it. It was great, great to see a band that close. That was Thursday night. Friday night, Bridge on Fire in Hamilton. Come out to see that gig. It's a nice big room. We sound great and loud. Next time, we're playing there in May coming up. Come out and see that gig. Saturday night, I played with Jacob in one of our favorite places, Taps Roadhouse, or Brewhouse, sorry. Taps Brewhouse in Niagara Falls. It was Jacob's first professional gig, and we still play there. Great food. What a great night. There was it's a restaurant, so there was kids, a ringette team in a tournament. They sat there very patient, like great kids. Sat there from Kitchener. They sat there very quietly and watched us, threw some money in the tip jar, stuff like that. And then as it was 35 people got up to leave, and one of the dads says, "Hey, what about Taylor Swift?" If you don't know my son Jacob, he knows every Taylor Swift song. It's one of his biggest influences on songwriting was Taylor Swift. Then he started playing Taylor Swift, and these people couldn't leave, and it was like the kids were dancing, and then, anyways. It was a great moment in his restaurant playing career. And today we had a beautiful day. We had a fundraiser show for the Caleb Letterman Memorial Scholarship that we put together last year. And we're doing it again every year for one of our families who tragically lost their son not too long ago, just over a year ago. And we are helping out the family by doing the scholarship in his honor. And but great day today. Lots of students, some local artists came out and helped us out, and I'm just glad the day's over. And what do I do when I get home? I strap on another guitar and entertain you guys anyhow. I will be in Dundas, Ontario next Saturday night. No, not with Bridge on Fire. No, not with Jacob D'Souza. I'm with my friends in a band called Powerglide, who has Brad from Bridge on Fire in the band, and Mike, great leader on guitar. We had a little rehearsal this week, and I'll be sitting in on guitar, filling in for their lead guitar player. I don't know where. I actually know something. I shouldn't even be advertising this because I think it's a private party, so you can't come anyways. So sorry, but anyways, I'm with Powerglide next Saturday night. And Bridge on Fire is going to be into some rehearsals, retooling some stuff. Our next gig is March 30th at Cabanas in Cambridge. Looks like a rocking place. Have a great week, guys. It's March now. Take it easy. March on. Beware the Ides of March. See you later. Bye-bye.